All right, this is James, the China Economy. Thank you for joining me on the second part of understanding energy, oil, and minerals. And this is entitled, How Do We Make Money? Right? Let's review a little bit. So basically, we own this stuff. Oil and gas companies come in, type thing, and they pull out what we own, and we get a purchase of that. Now, we get a percentage of what they make. So if you look at these township squares, again, 6 miles by 6 miles, about 240 acres in each box. When the oil and gas company pulls out a certain amount of oil from that, they go and they sell it on the open market. Right? That open market, there is an agreement between the mineral rights owners and the oil and gas companies of a percentage of a royalty that they receive. Okay, so that percentage is anywhere from 12 to 15%. 12 to 25%. The average is about 15. I've never seen one that's 25. The highest I've seen is 18.75. So the higher that is, the royalty is, the more you're going to get to the percentage, right? Conversely, that also goes into the matrix and the calculations of the oil and gas companies to know, hey, should we drill here or should we drill here, here, here? Where should we drill, right? If everything inside of this township square is 25% royalty, right? But everything over here is 12.5, and the formations are about the same. It's going to cost us about the same to drill out. Well, we're going to drill out right here as opposed to over here, right? So royalty does matter. The interest rate does matter. But the thing I want to get the focus on this is this. So we own all of this, right? And we have a liability-free asset, right? Minerals are a liability-free asset class, right? When you know what you're doing, especially. The minerals that we own underneath, they're not going to be burnt, they're not going to be stolen, they're not going to have a roof that's got to be redone, a leaky toilet or anything like that. We own it free and clear if we buy it with cash. If not, we've got a loan. But there is no liability on it, right? The energy companies come in Texas and Oklahoma and a few other states, they do their permits. They don't even have to ask mineral owners. They just start to drill because they're very friendly oil and gas states, and it's very fair to the mineral and the energy company as well. But they don't. My point is they don't stop. They don't put a halt on it. There are some states that toward these guys, they take up to 2 years to get going, right? Texas, Oklahoma, you can get everything permitted and done in like 2 weeks or so, give or take type thing. Then from there, it's just getting out the rigs out there and the manpower and everything out there, right? They're a business too. They've got constraints as well for scheduling and such. But in these two states, they are very oil and gas friendly. That's why I like to buy in them. There is no other cause that's going to inhibit my cash flow because, again, we get paid when oil and gas is sucked out, right? If there's no oil and gas company pulling minerals out, then we don't get paid. Okay, especially we want new drills, which I'll probably go into a video on that in the future. And we'll go into the strategy and everything. But the important thing to know is this: we own this. There is no liability. You're not going to get cash call or anything. The oil and gas companies, they spend $1 million. There are billion-dollar tenants. They spend $1 million putting the infrastructure, putting the rigs out there, paying the people, the steel, all this stuff to put it in there. If this casing cracks or the drill bit hits an issue in this formation, they got to back it out and redo it, or redo it over here instead because, so an engineer got it wrong, or something got wrong, or something didn't work the way life should type thing. We don't pay for any of it. They do. It is literally, they are building out infrastructure. They're spending billions of dollars building out infrastructure for things that we own that we don't have to pay a dime for. Not a dime, right? We just get a percentage of what they take. All right, so think of it like this. Think of it like, here's some good analogies. Think of it like a farmer, right? That you have farmland. Just pretend, like, I don't want to say Bill Gates, but pretend you have 1,000 acres of farmland. That's too much for you to farm or whatever. Or you're just saying, I really don't want to farm. So what you're going to do is you're going to lease out 100 acres at a time to 10 farmers, okay, and you say, hey, the first 12 to 25%, whatever deal you strike, of all the crops, of the money you get from putting the crops you put on my land or the ranching from the cows and stuff, is mine. Okay, I get the first take. I get the take before you get paid. Okay, this is how oil and gas is. In that example, the oil and gas companies or the people that are farming your land, they're paying for the seed, they're paying for the water, they're paying for the labor, they're paying for the harvesting, everything like that, right? You're not paying for a dime for it. You're just getting it because you have ownership of an asset right here, okay? They're doing all the work, all the labor. They get the, 85% or so, yeah, because they took the risk. If that crop dies out, or bugs hit it, or there's, you get a cattle that dies or something, that's going to affect them. They've got to pay for that, or they got to pay for, let's just say the vet for the cow's care or whatever. Let's say his prices went up 10, 20%. Doesn't come out of ours, comes out of theirs type thing. And we just make money whenever they do. So it's very passive asset, very, you don't have to do a lot of work type thing. Well, you guys don't, I do. And it's very liability free. That's what I want to focus this on. Also, want to make correction from my last video. So township squares. Think of it like this. If you've got 10 acres here, it doesn't matter if the drill's over here. If they're pulling out $1 million worth, you get $1 million divided by 640 times 10 acres because that's what you own. That's proportional ownership. That is your fractional ownership, as we say. But let's say you're buying into a package. This is where it's a little confusing, right? And that package has 10 acres here, 10 acres here, 10 acres here, 10 acres here, and 10 acres over here. So you've got 50 acres divided by or spread out through these 5 packages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Let's say you buy 10 acres from that package. Okay? Or you buy 20% of it? Man, my math is really off right now. Yeah, 20% of it. I got it. So you buy 20% of that package. You buy 10 acres. Are they going to just give you the acreage here or here? You get 10 acres here, 10 acres here, right? Of that 50 unit package or something like that? No. When you buy into a package, you buy clear across the whole board. Again, it's all percentage of ownership, all fractional ownership. So they're not going to just give you, if this whole package is 50 acres, 5 in each box, and all the wells are here, and just a few here, and you get 10 acres, and you buy 10 acres, you're going to get 2 acres here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, right? Out of all that plot, and you're going to pay proportionally to it, okay? So you're buying into a package that basically you're getting a piece of everything. You're not getting the bad stuff. You're not getting just the good stuff. You're getting a piece across the board, all right? That's important to know because, again, it spreads out everything and it makes everything a bit diversified. Now, here's the other thing about this map. These things change all the time, right? So you can have a ton of old wells, vintage wells that are here that aren't producing as much as they used to when they were young, kind of like us. And in 5 years, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years or whatever, these guys could be filled up as much as they are, right? Because maybe this is oversaturated, and so oil and gas companies are now starting to move this way, and in 5 years, these acreages are paying off more than these are, right? So in time, these things do change, and so this is one of the good parts about being a mineral owner. All right, let's get to some hard stuff. All right, so this is a payout for mineral ownership. I've redacted some information just for my own personal stuff, but this is actually one of my payouts that I had. Real quick, when you're a first mineral owner, you're going to have to contact all of the companies that ownership of the wells, right? And you're going to have to say, hey, I'm a mineral owner. I own this much and this part, and yada, yada. And you're going to get pushed into their system, and you're going to have to do that through lots of mail, lots of phone, emails. It's a whole ordeal, right? Especially because this is just page 22 of this one, right? And this is only like a third of the page, by the way. There's about 3 times this per page. On some of these tracks, I've had 1,200 pages of this stuff because there's 180, 200 wells on this guy, or sorry, it was 350 or 400 wells on this guy. So you got to go through each of them, contact the owner, the exploration company saying, hey, we're the mineral owners, we own this much, this is how much we get paid. It is a lot of little detailed work, Okay, now if you're my partner in this, you don't have to do any of that type thing. All that's done for you, and you just get to be on a beach and get a paycheck once a month. But this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have the wells, it's going to have production, it's going to have the shares, proportionate, all that good stuff. And you have checks for the totals. Now, thing is here's the royalty, here's the deductions, here's the amount that we actually paid. The deductions are basically sending it to get cleaned up so it can be sold on the open market. Again, we get paid when the oil and gas company gets paid. We actually get the first percentage of that payment. We have rights to it before they do, according to the state. All right. These deductions, what are they? Well, basically they're not washing the oil per se, but they're getting it into a form to be marketable. In other words, when you pull crude out of the ground or just a bunch of gas, right? You can't put that into your stove. You can't put that into your car. You can't put that into a jet. It has to be separated and refined. So this is the refining costs of it, right? Which is not, I mean, look at it, it's not too bad when you're looking at all the funding you're getting. And then that's the final payout amount. So to review, we own an asset that is liability free. We have these billion-dollar rental tenants that do all the work for us. They take all the risk, and we just we're going on their coattail. Or think of it like this: we are in a carriage, and they are the ones that are wheeling us around. They're paying for the horses. They're paying for the carriage. They're the ones driving the ship, right? We can't compel them to drill in our minerals. We can't force them to. They do it on their own, type thing, and they take all the risk, all liability. We just get paid once we buy our ticket on that carriage, right? Once we buy our owner's asset, we just chill and enjoy the ride. Okay, this ride can be good depending on how the assets are spread about, but we always get a proportion to our ownership, right? And there's a bit of complexity, but I'd get all that done for you. So again, this is how we make money in it. On the next videos, we'll talk about the strategies, the risk when we're doing valuations, all that. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.